All right, Ravens flock. I cannot believe we pulled off this win. This was insanity. What is with all the games we're playing? We were down 19 points. And we found a way to come back and win? That's crazy. That's insanity. I would have never thought we would do something like that. What is going on with all our games? All these games are coming down to the wire. We got to pull off game-winning drives and come back from double digits. This is insanity. Maybe it's my fault. Because after the 2019 season, I was wishing for the Ravens to get more games like this so that they'll be better prepared for the postseason if they got to deal with that. They got some of that in 2020. It was tough, and they weren't able to handle that. Now in 2021, they're getting it in every game, and it's crazy. They've been doing such a great job. I got to give a huge congratulations to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar was insane in this game. Insane, man. One of his greatest, if not the greatest performance he's had. Statistical-wise, this was his greatest performance. 442 passing yards on 86% completion, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. What a game. What a masterpiece. He wasn't perfect because he fumbled the ball, but throwing the ball, my God. This was crazy. This was crazy, man. One of the craziest games the Ravens have ever had in franchise history. I don't know what to make of this. This game as a whole was just insanity. My God. So, man, we got to get on this recap. It was so crazy. I couldn't stand up and do my usual thing. I had to sit down and talk to you about this because this was crazy. What a game. But before we get into this recap, I got to say this, man. Tavon Young, I got to apologize, man. You know, in the fourth quarter, the Colts are driving. They have a chance to win this with a field goal. We make a stop on 2nd and 20, but Tavon Young, you know, him and Jack Doyle, they went at it, and he ended up pushing Doyle. It caused a personal foul, 15-yard penalty, which pushed the Colts into field goal range. I was so heated. The chat was so heated. We were so heated, we started cursing this dude out. I'm not going to say what I said again, but I started cursing this dude out. I shouldn't have done that, man. I shouldn't have done that. My mom actually called me after the live stream, and she was like, I know you pissed off at him. I know you going off. You can still criticize the dude, but you can't be cursing this man out. You can't be doing that. And I'm like, yeah, it was a heat of the moment. I shouldn't have said what I said. But that's the beauty of these live stream, man. It's real. It's real energy. What I'm saying is real. What I do is real. That's just it. And sometimes emotions get the best of you. As fans, we've always cursed out a player when they've done something stupid. So, you know, shouldn't have said that. I apologize, Tavon Young. But I'm still pissed off at you. You got to be better than that. You got to be better overall. But most importantly, you can't do that because you almost cost us the game, man. You almost cost us the game. Fun enough, you know, Tavon Young actually took accountability for that on Twitter. So that was great. Move past that. Just be better moving down the stretch. You got to be better. In fact, this whole defense has to be better. So, yeah, I got to apologize. Mama Real don't want her son out here cursing players out, so I ain't trying to do that, man. But, yeah, I have to apologize for that. But, anyway, let's get into this recap. I got to say this first. In terms of the game, man, defense did not show up for either team for the most part. This was insanity. I got to say this right now. If anyone wants to sit back and blame Carson Wentz, I don't know what to tell you. Carson Wentz did not lose them this game. Carson Wentz tonight, 25 of 35, 402 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't cost them the game. He did not cost them the game. He did not cost them. Anyone that's going to blame Carson Wentz for this loss, I can't. Nah, you're wrong. He did not cost them this game. No way you can blame this on Carson Wentz. So let's get into this game. Immediately, I knew this game was going to be crazy when I see Jonathan Taylor take a screen pass on 3rd and 15 to the house for 72 yards and a touchdown. Here we go. Defense cannot stop a screen pass once again. Why can't we stop the screen? We always have problems with this. Why can't we stop the screen? I don't understand. We just can't seem to stop the screen. And it's a constant problem. That needs to be fixed. Also, tackling was a huge problem here. Once again, Patrick Queen struggled tackling, but the team as a whole struggled tackling. Anthony Averett actually had a bad game. This was his first bad game of the season, so I'm not worried about it. I know people want to get on Averett, but everybody had a bad game today. The entire defense had a bad game. Well, besides Odafe Owe. Speaking of Odafe Owe, once again, he makes an impact. He gets a strip sack on Carson Wentz, sacks him, forces the ball to get fumbled, recover it. Odafe Owe has been one of the best players for us this season. He needs to be in the run for Defensive Rookie of the Year because he is doing everything for the Ravens. But yeah, we're down 7-0 early on. We actually started off with the ball and we didn't do anything with it. In fact, the entire first half, we didn't do anything with the ball. Lamar passed for 100 yards in the first half, but we only came up with 3 points on offense. Just couldn't execute. Couldn't execute. It was bad for the first half. We couldn't put up points. We were just bad all around. Meanwhile, with the Ravens defense, they could not make a stop. Couldn't stop the run today. Couldn't stop the pass. Jonathan Taylor had over 160 total scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, let me get the exact number just so you know how bad this defense was. Rushing the ball, Jonathan Taylor actually didn't do that well in that, but scrimmage yards was different. He had 116 scrimmage yards on 3 catches for a touchdown, and then he had 15 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Marlon Mack was also doing his thing as well. So the run game for the Colts went off. They rushed for over 100 yards, and in the receiving game, they were doing their thing with mostly Jonathan Taylor. You know, that was pretty much how it was for this game. But yeah, we couldn't make a stop. First half was bad. We go into halftime. It's a 10-3 game, and I'm thinking, man, we got to figure something out. Next thing you know what happens, we come out of halftime. Defense can't make a stop. All of a sudden, we're down 17-3. Oh, my God, we're down 17-3. Not 17, 16-3. They missed the extra point. Again, that's not on Carson Wentz, though. That extra point ended up mattering. That's not on Carson Wentz. So we're down 16-3. We're down 16-3. Next thing you know, boom, we get the ball back. We proceed to do nothing with it on offense. Just kidding. We actually do something with it on offense. I didn't want to bring it up, but guys, we have to. Despite the fact that Lamar played well, threw for over 400 yards, the fumble. I wanted to skip past it. I can't do that. The fumble. The fumble at the goal line. We're down 16-3. Lamar Jackson marches the offense down to the goal line. He decides to take it on the design run, and Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball at the goal line. It's picked up by the Colts. They go all the way down the field. They score a touchdown there, but then it gets called back. So Lamar Jackson, we had a chance to make this game close. Boom, he screws up. It is what it is. It hurt. But I got to say this, Lamar, you have to take better care of the football. That was the one thing you didn't do well tonight. You didn't take care of the football. You fumbled the ball in a very crucial moment. And at that point, we thought we were done because the defense couldn't make stops. So, Lamar, if there's anything I got to criticize you for tonight, it was your ball security. You have to protect the football. You got to be better than that, man. You've got to be better than that. Down the stretch, these guys are going to hit you tough, and you can't be trying to move the ball between hands while somebody's tackling you down. Protect the football. Ball protection needs to be a major thing for Lamar that he needs to focus on moving forward. Because if you're going to take off and we're going to do these design runs, you cannot be out here doing this. Protect the football, Lamar. Protect the football. But yeah, after that, the fumble happens. The Colts get the ball back. And again, they go down the field, score a touchdown. And it's just like, it's 22-3. It's the third quarter. The game is over. But all of a sudden, Lamar and the offense heated up. Lamar and the offense went down the field, and Lamar hits Hollywood on a beautiful pass for a 49-yard touchdown. A beautiful pass outside the numbers, by the way, but a beautiful pass to Hollywood Brown, who gets open downfield in the secondary. Touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a 22-9 game. You could just take the extra point, make it 22-10. John Harbaugh decides to go for 2. Lamar doesn't get it. Okay, now, so it's a 13-point game. Next thing you know, defense still can't make a stop. They're going down the field, still can't make a stop. Still can't make a stop. Defense all day couldn't make a stop. They were pitiful in this game. So they get down there, and all of a sudden it's in the field goal range, and the defense actually makes a stop here. They kick a field goal. It's 25-9. Okay, now it's a 16-point game. We're down 2 scores. We know what we got to do. We've been down 2 scores before with Kansas City this season. We came back and won. Let's see if we can do it again. But this defense has to make a stop. Once again, Lamar and the offense go down the field, score a touchdown. He hits Mark Andrews, just doing his thing. And they convert on the 2-point conversion, which was to Mark Andrews. Nice. All of a sudden, it's an 8-point game. We come out and we're making this close. And I'm sitting here praying, guys, we're getting under it. Under 6 minutes, under 5 minutes. We have to hold on and make a stop. Defense can't do that. They get into field goal range again, and I'm like, if they hit this field goal, it's over. I'm praying for something to happen. But then again, all of a sudden, the exact thing that's been happening in week 5 happened. Another kicker missed a kick. If you've been paying attention to how week 5 went, all these kickers were missing kicks. All these kickers just kept missing kicks, and that was just the game. That was the week. So for their kicker, the Colts kicker to miss the kick, it meant something. Though, we'll talk about that later. He didn't miss the kick here. I was praying for him to miss the kick here. Instead, what ends up happening is Calais Campbell makes a game-saving play. He blocks the field goal, and all of a sudden, we have life. It's about 3 minutes left to go in the game. Well, actually not 3. 4 minutes left to go in the game. We got to go down the field. We're down by 8. Lamar, again, leads them down the field. He leads them down the field. Under 2 minutes, we're going. The clock is ticking. We continue to move the ball. We get to the goal line, and Lamar Jackson hits Mark Andrews for the touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game. We got to go for it on 2. And let me tell you, man, Mark Andrews, he actually found, after he dropped that pass, he found his game. Man, he found his hands. He found his hands. He found his game, and he found his hands. So he gets the touchdown. We're down by 2. It's 25-23. 2-point conversion. Lamar, quick throw over the middle to Mark Andrews, who just catches it, man. He holds on to it for dear life, and the game is tied. And I'm like, oh my God, if we could go to overtime, we can win this game. Colts get the ball, and they start marching down the field. Next thing you know, they're at midfield. They're very close to field goal range. All of a sudden, a penalty happens, a holding call, they get pushed back. They can't do anything on first down. 2nd and 20, we make a stop here. They throw a screen, we stop it. I'm sitting here thinking, man, we're going to go to overtime. And then that's when Tavon Young made the knucklehead play where he calls a personal foul on Jack Doyle, because Jack Doyle initiated the contact first and kind of went at Tavon Young, and he responded. They never catch the first guy. They always catch the second guy. And they caught Tavon Young, 15-yard penalty. That put them within field goal range. And let me tell you, Carson Wentz, he definitely gave them as many yards as he possibly can to set them up. And with 4 seconds left, now comes the kick. Again, if you were paying attention to how Week 5 went, kickers all around the league couldn't kick to save their lives. The kicker misses the field goal. I'm praying again. Let's get a block or let's get a missed field goal. The guy misses a field goal, and I'm running around here screaming because we have a chance to win this game. Let's go to overtime. So obviously, because the Ravens understand that we need a little bit of luck, who do you send to go, make the call for overtime? Of course, you got the Colts getting their guy. Who do the Ravens send up there? None other than the GOAT kicker himself, Justin Tucker. We need some luck. Let's go send Justin Tucker up there, and guess what? Justin Tucker, man, just with him being there, the first ballot Hall of Famer that he is, just him being there, his aura allowed the coin toss to go our way. Ravens get the ball, and I'm like, bruh, Lamar is not about to let this go. We're going down the field and scoring a touchdown. And Lamar was surgical with this overtime drive. He was not going to give the Colts a second chance. Marched us down the field. Just keeps connecting with his guys left and right, checking the ball down, doing whatever it takes to win the game. And finally, we get to the goal line, and I'm just sitting here saying, take it slow. Throughout the entire drive, take it slow. Don't put the ball at risk. And that's exactly what we didn't do. We did not put the ball at risk. Lamar was very smart with his throws, took what the defense gave him, made some great throws, got us down to the goal line. And again, 2nd and goal here. He finds Hollywood for the game-winning touchdown, and we win this game in overtime. What a game. Lamar tonight, like I said, balled out. 442 passing yards, 86% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no picks. For Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews, 11 catches, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marquise Brown, 9 catches, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. You also got 45 yards from Devin Duvernay. You had 35 yards from Sammy Watkins, who suffered a hamstring injury. We'll see what happens with that long term. But Sammy Watkins got injured in this game, so he was out. Hopefully the hamstring is nothing too bad, because we can't afford to keep losing our receivers. But yeah, he got hit. He was out, and that sucked. Devontae Freeman actually had 34 yards here. He actually was making some nice plays in overtime, so good for him. He made some solid catches, making the checkdowns and making the best of it, so he did what he needed to do. James Prochet had a couple nice grabs, which, again, James Prochet has the best hands on the team, so we got to get him the ball more. And overall, man, the team just managed to come back with this win and get the job done. So I love what I saw here. Defensively, we only had 2 sacks on Carson Wentz, and we really couldn't make a stop at all. We couldn't stop the run game. We couldn't stop the pass game. So both quarterbacks threw for over 400 yards, and both quarterbacks did well enough to win this game. Defense was not a thing tonight. It was not a thing. It was an embarrassment. But the Ravens found a way to win. They managed to overcome a 19-point deficit, and they win at home. They advance to 4-1. Does this make them Super Bowl contending team, Super Bowl contenders as a whole? I think you have to think about that. Yeah, making the comeback is great, but we might want to give it a little bit more time. You have a huge test next week against the Chargers. If you can beat them, yeah, you might actually be a Super Bowl contending team. Because right now, the Chargers look like contenders. They took down the Chiefs, took down the Raiders when they were undefeated, just took down the Browns. If they beat us next week, they're contenders. If we can beat them, we might be contenders. But yeah, what a hell of a game here, guys. What a hell of a game. Just absolute craziness, came down to the wire. Lamar Jackson was amazing down the stretch. The Ravens offense was flowing and amazing. The receivers were amazing down the stretch. Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews came up clutch. Calais Campbell made the play for the defense here. Again, MVP from the defense. Odafe Owe, Calais Campbell. Tavon Young, had he not made that boneheaded play, he had a sack. So he still played well in some cases. But the secondary didn't do great as a whole. Anthony Averett had his worst game of the season, which was bound to happen. He'll bounce back. Marlon Humphrey has not been doing a lot this season. He hasn't looked like the great corner he's supposed to be. So hopefully he picks his game up. And then, Tavon Young, he's got to improve and just be better overall. Just the team as a whole has got to be better. So hopefully this defense can perform better. You can't give up that many yards. We got to be better. Over 500 yards of offense given up by both teams today. Over 500 yards given up by both teams. Defense has to be better. So we'll see what happens next week against the Chargers because, man, if we can't handle Carson Wentz, what do you think Justin Herbert's going to do to our defense? It's going to be a crazy game. They might want to flex that to Sunday Night Football because, as a Ravens fan, keep us at 1 o'clock. We don't want to deal with the stress on Sunday night. But in terms of entertainment and star power and what you can get for ratings, you better flex that Sunday Night Football game. Change the Steelers and the Seahawks. You better change that to a 1 o'clock game, and you switch that Ravens-Chargers game to Sunday night because people will want to see that on primetime. But it is what it is. Anyway, what a game, man. I can't wait to continue to talk about it. We'll be speaking on it throughout the week. This was a crazy game. My voice is absolutely gone, but I loved every moment of it. I love the pain. I love the heartache. And I love seeing the comeback because when you see a comeback, you don't think it's going to happen. But when you get to witness it, boy, is it crazy. So, yeah, man, what a game. Ravens move to 4-1. The Colts lose. They're now 1-4. They got to figure something out, man, because the season's going rough for them. They still have a chance in that division against the Titans, but who knows what's going to happen. Meanwhile, the Ravens 4-1. You have a game ahead of the Bengals and the Browns, so let's see if you can hold on to it. Next week, we're going up against the Chargers, so it's going to be another boxing fight. It's going to be another fist fight, man. We're going to keep fighting. Every week, we got to keep fighting as a Ravens fan. But, yeah, that is all I got to say about this. This week, I could not sit up at my usual stand and make my recap. I just got no energy left after that comeback. That comeback happens, and I'm just like, I got no energy left. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for watching, and I'm out here, man. Peace. Go Ravens.